What's up, WWE Universe? This is Ringside Rain, and in this episode, we're going to talk about my top predictions for Elimination Chamber 2021. But first, I'm going to ask you guys to please hit that like button for me. It's not going to cost you anything. It's free, but it's going to help me out. Thank you so much in advance. Now, in the spirit of the Elimination Chamber, we are going to eliminate each superstar that I don't think will win the match. So let's start off with the WWE title match inside the Elimination Chamber. Well, I don't think Randall Keith Orton will win the Elimination Chamber match. Why? Well, because he has an ongoing storyline with Alexa Bliss / The Fiend. And judging by what happened this past Monday on Raw, Alexa Bliss basically caused a distraction to Randy Orton during the gauntlet match. And RKO then end up winning the gauntlet match to be the final entrant to the Elimination Chamber. So somehow, some way, maybe Alexa Bliss or maybe The Fiend will find some way to distract Randy Orton during the Elimination Chamber match. I don't know how, because they're inside the chamber, but I mean, we've seen a lot of weird things, so anything is possible, right? Jeff Hardy, I didn't really see any storyline for him to actually win the match, so no. Kofi Kingston, well, it's a good thing that he got added into this match. I actually think that him getting added to it and then The Miz coming up with this whole scenario of him maybe cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, well, it's something, you know, to spice things up. But with Kofi Kingston being in this match, well, Kofi Mania Part 2, I think that's too soon. So, no on Kofi. Now, my top 3 contenders to win the Elimination Chamber match will be AJ Styles, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. Well, I'm gonna eliminate AJ Styles right now because I do think that it will be a showdown between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. However, I don't think that the Celtic Warrior will win against the Scottish Psychopath. It's too soon for him to win when we're this close to WrestleMania. I think Drew McIntyre will carry the momentum as the WWE champion going into WrestleMania, and maybe this is a good setup for Sheamus to be more angry that he's not champion. Be more angry towards Drew McIntyre, hence maybe a setup for Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus at WrestleMania. Now let's move on to the #1 contender match for the Universal Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. Well, I am going to eliminate King Corbin and Sami Zayn. Bye-bye. Now this one's a little tough for me because I had a feeling that maybe Jey Uso will win this match and he would basically just lay down and let Roman Reigns pin him 1, 2, 3. The Tribal Chief retains the title. However, that's lame. So I think Jey Uso will get eliminated as well, and then we're down to Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and Kevin Owens. Now, I don't care if Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, or Kevin Owens win this match. However, my top pick will be Kevin Owens. I do think that Daniel Bryan will get eliminated first, then Cesaro versus Owens, and then Owens will actually make it to the Universal Championship match versus Roman Reigns. And here's why. Even though I think Daniel Bryan could be a strong contender versus Roman Reigns, storyline wise, my money would be more on Cesaro, right? If it comes down to Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro, because I think Cesaro has been vocal about he needs to get the opportunity to be champion. He's been overlooked, and I do get that, and a lot of people have seen that. However, Cesaro versus Roman Reigns right away, no. So I do think it will be Daniel Bryan by Cesaro versus Owens, and then Owens will move on to face the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Which brings me to that match. There is no chance in hell for Kevin Owens or for anyone to defeat the Tribal Chief come this Sunday at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Why? Because we are all looking forward for the Rated R Superstar Edge to challenge Roman Reigns for his Universal title at WrestleMania. So maybe it will be Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns tomorrow at the Elimination Chamber. However, I think Roman Reigns will find a way to cheat his way to win against KO. Moving on to the Raw Women's Championship match between Asuka and, well, as of this moment, I am still clueless, or a lot of us are still clueless if this match will still happen. Lacey Evans, who is supposed to face Asuka at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, is reportedly pregnant, so now we don't know who Asuka's facing. Here's my suggestion. Why don't we just have an Elimination Chamber match for the Raw Women's Championship? You know, just to spice things up, you know, versus just handpicking someone to face Asuka or, you know, canceling the match. You know, just maybe, you know, throw that extra Elimination Chamber match there. You know, we'd love to see it, right? The women's tag team match between Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus the SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Now, these are my two scenarios for this one. Obviously, this is a setup to cause conflict between Banks and Belair. So either Banks and Belair would lose the match, and this would cause conflict between the two, hence the two of them facing each other at WrestleMania. Or Banks and Belair would end up winning the women's tag team titles, gain some good momentum, and then lose the title somehow leading up to WrestleMania. I like that idea. However, I think even though WrestleMania is not till April, we're really close to it. So I don't think there's really a lot of time to build into that storyline. So I'm hoping they win the tag titles, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, and then at some point maybe there wouldn't be any conflict. Maybe it will be, hey, you know what? I want to have two belts too, so I'm going to challenge you at WrestleMania. Maybe it'll go down like that, but that's kind of lame. But anyway, the United States Championship match between Bobby Lashley, Riddle, and Keith Lee. Bro, there is no chance in hell for the CEO of the Hurt Business to lose. Why? Because lately, Bobby Lashley is being shown off as the most dominant athlete. So why would he lose now? My perfect scenario here would be Bobby Lashley will retain his United States gold, and then leading up at WrestleMania, if he were to defend the title, he would end up losing it to Riddle. No offense to Keith Lee, but I think Riddle has put in a lot of effort to face Bobby Lashley lately, so it'll be good storyline-wise. Now, what do you guys think? Post your comments down below, and please hit like, share, and subscribe to my videos. Also, if you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @RingsideRain. And as always, I will see you guys back here after the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Until then, TTYL, Jabronis.